Welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to continue looking at approximation and estimation. So in today's video, I'm going to look at a wonderful topic which is rounding off to the nearest 100. So the topic for today's video is rounding off to the nearest 100. Okay, so before we start rounding off numbers to the nearest 100, let's go through the rules, the golden rules of rounding off numbers. So the first rule is if the number to the right of rounding off digit is less than 5, the rounding digit stays the same. If the number to the right of rounding off digit is less than 5, the rounding digit stays the same. So the rounding digit stays the same when the number to its right is less than 5. The second rule is if the number to the right of the rounding digit is equal to or greater than 5, the rounding digit increases by 1. If the number to the right of the rounding digit is equal to or greater than 5, the rounding digit increases by 1. So these are the two rules we follow when rounding off numbers to the nearest 100. Now let's round off some numbers below. Okay. All right. So these are the four numbers we're going to round off to the nearest 100. So the instruction is round off the following numbers to the nearest 100. So the first question, we have got 321. So we are asked to round off 321 to the nearest 100. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to write it there. Okay, once I've written it there, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to identify my rounding digit. Which number am I going to round off? Okay, the number I'm going to round off is the number which has the place value of hundreds. So that is 3. In that number, the digit which has the place value of hundreds is 3. In 321, the number with the place value of hundreds is 3. So I'm going to round off 3. Now it's either I'm going to add 0 to it or 1 to it, depending on the next number, the number which is on the right, the next number on the right side. Okay, so as we can see, the next number on the right side is 2. That means this number 2 is less than 5. That means we'll do nothing to 3. Or in other words, we are going to add 0 to 3. So when we do nothing to 3 or we add 0 to 3, the answer we're going to get is the same. So we'll do nothing to 3 as the instructions are saying. So we're going to write 3. Okay, then where there is 2, the place value of 2, where there is 2 there, we're going to put 0, and where there is 1, we're going to put 0. Therefore, rounding off 321 to the nearest hundreds will give us 300 as an answer. Rounding off 321 to the nearest hundreds will give us 300. Let's go to question number 2. Question number 2, we have got 165, which we were asked to round off to the nearest hundreds. So I'm going to rewrite it down there, just like I've done there. Then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to identify the number that occupies the place value of hundreds in this figure. So the digit that occupies the place value of hundreds is 1. So I'm going to round off 1. I said I'm going to add 1 to 0, or I'm going to add 0 to 1. It said I'm going to add 1 to 1, or I'm going to add 0 to 1, depending on the number on the right side of 1. So the number on the right side of 1 is 6. Therefore, we're going to follow the rule, the second rule, which states if the number to the right of the rounding digit is equal to or greater than 5, the rounding digit increases by 1. That means since 6 is greater than 5, that means the rounding number will increase by 1. We are going to add 1 to 1. So 1 plus 1 will give us 2. Then where there is 6, we will put 0. And then where there is 5 also, we'll put 0. So rounding off 165 to the nearest hundreds will give us 200. Okay, let's go to question number 3. Question number 3, we have got 772, which we are asked to round it off to the nearest hundreds. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to identify our rounding digit. Our rounding digit is 7, because it's also occupying the place value of hundreds. Okay, now once we have identified our rounding digit, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the number which is on the right side of our rounding digit, which is 7. 7 is greater than 5. So the rounding digit will increase by 1. We're going to add 1 to the rounding digit. So the rounding digit is 7. 7 plus 1 will give us 8. Then where there is 7, the 7 on the right side of the 7 in the green circle, that's where there is 7 there, we're going to write 0. It will take, we are going to write 0 on place of the 7 which is next to the rounding digit. Then we're also going to write 0, which will stand for 2 there. Okay, so rounding off 772 to the nearest 100 will give us 800. Okay, rounding off 772 to the nearest hundreds will give us 800. Let's go to question number 4. Okay, so question number 4, they're asking us to round off 649 to the nearest hundreds. So I'm going to rewrite this number. Then I'm going to identify the rounding off digit, which is 6 there, and it's also occupying the position of the place value of hundreds. So now I'm going to look at the number which is on the right side of the rounding figure, which is 4. 4 is less than 5. That means we are going to do nothing to this 6, or 6 will remain just like that. It will stay the same. So we're going to write 6 there. Then where there is 4, we're going to put 0. Where there is 9, we're going to put 0. So rounding off 649 to the nearest hundreds will give us 600. Okay. Now, let me add the 5th question. If the number you're given is bigger than these numbers, like the one we have here, which is 2361. Okay, so what can you do? Okay, let me show you what you can do. This one is also simple. What you need to bear in mind is, first you write the number, then you identify the number which is occupying the place value of hundreds. Once you identify it, then that will be your rounding digit. So in here, the digit that is occupying the place value of hundreds is 3. Okay, the one I've circled there. So that 3 is our rounding off digit. Okay, is our rounding digit. So what we're going to do is, now we are going to write 2. Why? Because as you can see, 3, even if we add 1 to 3, it will be 4, and there will be no number which will be carried to 2. So you can rewrite 2 there, since it's not going to get affected. Once we do that, then we are going to say, since 6 is greater than 5, that means we are going to add 1 to 3, or 3 will increase by 1, which will be 4. So 3 plus 1 will give us 4. Then where there is 6, we'll put 0. Where there is 1, we put 0. Therefore, rounding off 2361 to the nearest hundreds will give us 2400. Okay, so basically this is how you round off numbers to the nearest hundreds. It has been easy learning zed-Mathematics. The future is bright. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.